Chris and I watch a lot of videos on YouTube about people who have sold everything they have to travel the world or to live as expats in foreign countries. And at first, we thought we wanted that too. And then we thought about it a little more and we realized that is not quite what we wanted. Chris and I have taken early retirement so that we can travel the world, spend more time with family and friends, and take on projects that are meaningful to us. When Chris and I first took early retirement, I thought that we were going to travel the world full time. I was really enamored with the idea of selling everything and traveling the world with just my backpack. But then I realized that if we did that, we would have a hard time with our two other goals of spending more time with the people we care about and of working on projects that are meaningful to us. We can work on some projects remotely while we travel, but we can't do that with everything. Like, for example, Chris and I volunteer as emergency responders in disaster situations like fires and floods. Maybe one day we'll be able to do that internationally, but right now all of our call-outs rely on the fact that we're based in Vancouver. We would have a really hard time doing in-person volunteer activities if we're never in the same place twice. It took us a little bit of time to figure out, but we eventually realized that full-time travel just wasn't for us. But we didn't want to give up on our dream of traveling the world in a more relaxed way. We still wanted to be able to really get to know a place and take in the local lifestyle. So we decided on a slow, long-term travel approach where we can live in another place like an expat, but without the hassle of moving to a new country. We can go to a new place for a month or more and spend time getting to know the area, beyond what you might see if you're just on a quick tourist visit. And we can do this for about half the year. This lets us balance our passion for travel while still spending lots of time with our family and working on our projects. We're actually more imitating a snowbird lifestyle, which is what we call Canadians that head south to the US and Mexico for the winter. Though with our plans, we travel anywhere in the world. We travel to a city and rent a furnished apartment for a month or more. And we take the time to rent a place that has a few comforts we're looking for, like a proper desk and office chair and fast internet. And if the apartment is missing a few things we want, like a good frying pan, we buy one. Doing this is a bit of an added expense, but it's worth it to us to be comfortable in our home for the month. And because we're renting for a full month, it's usually quite a bit cheaper than paying a nightly rate, as our rentals often fall under different rules than shorter tourist accommodations. We get to know the local cafes, go to expat events like trivia nights, get a 1-month membership to a local gym, and figure out our favorite grocery stores and markets. We do touristy stuff too, and sometimes we even take off for an overnight side trip, but most of our days are spent following a local routine. And we can still work on our projects that can be done remotely. But when we're done traveling, we spend the other half of our year in our home base of Vancouver, British Columbia. One of the things I love about coming home is that I can go back to all my favorite fitness classes and restaurants. And because I'm gone for half the year, every time I come back, it feels new and novel, and I never really get bored with my routine. Logistically though, to support our long-term travel, we keep a pretty low-maintenance home in Vancouver. We live in a condo, and that is a lot easier to take care of than a full house and yard. I do have a few houseplants, but I have somebody who comes in and waters them and looks at the condo while we're away. The first time we went on a long-term trip, I asked one of my friends to look after our plants, but it didn't seem fair to her to keep asking her to look after our condo while we're away because we travel so much. So now I hire somebody to do it. And it works out really well that we have a condo where we can just get up and leave at any point. Because as volunteer emergency responders, we can get a call to go to a flood or a wildfire situation at any point, and we just want to be able to get up and leave. We also have to think about things like mail and filing taxes while we're traveling, because for some reason, we always seem to be away during tax season. And being able to bank while we're away from home is a big thing too. When we travel, we usually get a local cell number. If you're planning on doing this too, it's really important to make sure you have ways of authenticating yourself with your bank and other online services that doesn't require you to have access codes that are sent via text message to your cell number back home. Here's another big advantage to us maintaining a home in Canada. Because we're Canadian, we qualify for health insurance, assuming we live here for half the year. By maintaining our residency, we can keep our Canadian healthcare coverage. We still need to buy medical coverage for our travels, but it is a lot cheaper because we have the base Canadian coverage. Combining long-term travel with maintaining a footprint in our home country has worked very well for us. And we think that it makes more sense than going the full expat route or traveling full-time completely. It took us a while to figure out what was right for us. We hope this video helps you figure out what's best for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.